All right, Algebra 1 students. We are going to be discussing Chapter 1, Lesson 1, and Chapter 1, Lesson 2 for your guys' second assignment. So this will be Part 1 notes of Lesson 1 dash 1, variables and expressions. And make sure you include the date in the left-hand corner. The objective is to write algebraic expressions. We're going to be first doing the vocabulary part of this, so please write down all the vocab. And we're going to do the get ready part. So let's consider this, and you don't have to write down the get ready part of this, but let's consider the population of Florida, the area of Colorado, and the flight from Philadelphia to San Francisco. Which of these has a value that varies, and explain? So let's think about it. The population of Florida, can that change? If we were looking at the population of Florida over the past, 100 years, is it going to be exactly the same? No, it's not. So that one could change, right? That one could vary, because vary means change. What about a flight time from Philadelphia to San Francisco? All right. I know you guys. You're probably saying, well, yeah, it can, because you have flight delays. You could have layovers. You could have all these mechanical difficulties and all that stuff. All right. That aside, assuming everything was normal, could there be a difference in flight time from Philadelphia to San Francisco? No, there can't. Because they're going to be the same distance no matter what. Okay? The area of Colorado. Could the area of Colorado change? It could if there was an amendment, I believe. But the likelihood of that happening again is slim to none. So the area of Colorado is going to stay the same. So which of these has the value that varies? Well, you guys, we talked about it. It's going to be the what. Which of these has the value that varies? Good. It is going to be the population. The population can change. The biggest thing to remember is when we're talking about this is variables is kind of very similar to something that changes. Okay? And we're going to talk about that quite a bit today. So, vocabulary. The first part of vocabulary is going to be the word quantity. Quantity is anything that can be measured or counted. Or I have down here as counted or measured. Same thing. It can be anything that is measured or counted. So let's think about it. The number of students can be counted, right? Yeah, sure. I can go into my classes and count the number of students. And temperature can be measured, correct? Exactly right. We have thermometers that measure the temperature of it. That is something that can be measured. So therefore, it is a quantity. The number of desks in the classroom. I don't know. The number of pounds, the weight of something can be measured. Those are all quantities. Okay? Your next term is variable. Variable. Variable is a symbol, usually a letter, that represents the value or values of a variable quantity. Meaning, it could be a letter, and that's what we're going to be dealing with for the most part in Algebra 1, or it could be a symbol. It doesn't really matter, just as long as we know that it represents a variable quantity, meaning it represents a quantity that varies. And again, what does quantity mean? Something that is counted or measured. Sorry for the shakiness. We're going to figure this out. So a variable is something that varies. First part of variable, look, it varies. Isn't that cool? Is it the prefix? Yeah, I think it's prefix. Or is it the suffix? I think it's prefix. Okay, so examples. We have letters. And X, M, B, Y, Z. There's tons of letters that we use commonly. You'll see X for the most part. I mean, anything can be a variable pretty much, as long as we know what it represents. And we're going to get to that part too. A smiley face could even be a variable, because it's simple, right? Yeah. Just as long as we say, it represents a variable quantity. So in this case, I even have down here, smiley face equals the number of chips in a bag. So therefore, I know that if I would come across the number of chips in a bag, I could actually plug that in for the smiley face. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later too. Okay, algebraic expression. Algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase that includes one or more variables. Notice I said it is a mathematical phrase. It is not a complete sentence. It is not complete. It does not have an equal sign. It does not have an inequality or any of that. It is simply a mathematical phrase that includes one or more variables. Okay? So examples of this would be these. We have 3x, which is 3 times x. We have 4 plus x. We have 3 times the quantity of x plus 6. And we have x minus 2 and 9 plus x. If you notice, there's at least one variable there, and there are some operations going on. Could I have more variables in there? Could I have like x, y, and all that great stuff? Yeah, sure. If I really wanted to, I could say this is 4 plus x, y. That just means I have another variable that has a different quantity than x. Okay, numerical expression. Well, if algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase that includes one or more variable, think about what a numerical expression means. Numerical meaning numbers. It is a mathematical phrase involving numbers and operations, operation symbols, but no variables. A mathematical expression is something that just has numbers and operations. It does not include variables. So these are examples of some numerical expressions. So we have 3 plus 4. Wow, it can't include variables, can it? So we have examples of 3 plus 4, 6 times 8, and 9 minus 2. All those are examples of numerical expressions. Okay, that concludes part 1 of our